Hello everybody, welcome to Camping and Outdoor Stuff. I'm Snert. Now I've got the air shelter, the Berghaus Air Shelter out from our trip last week. I was going to do a proper time-lapse video and everything, but the weather was so bad in Dalgethley that I didn't get around to it because I've got to get all my camera equipment wet. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put it up and talk to you about it in a little bit more detail. As you can see, perhaps by the scorching sunshine in this Whitsuntide bank holiday weekend, that I'm not camping this weekend, because if I had been, it would have been a washout as usual. So when you unwrap it and get it out of the box, you get a stirrup pump, which I'll show you here. This is the stirrup pump. It comes with a whistle, a pressurized whistle on it. You get a valve. Now on the top of the stirrup pump it says inflate or deflate, because you can actually suck out the hair or inflate it. So we put it on the inflate side, put on the little pressure gauge, which has got a green zone in it in the arrow. That's the area you want to be pumping it up to, pressure wise. Plug in the pipe on the other side. And that's the pump. You get with it a little valve removing tool, which if you need to ever take the valve out, you can use that with that. You also get a set of instructions, and all comes in a bag, and you get a repair kit. So that should be like a puncture repair kit. So if you get a puncture in it and the thing keeps going down, you can buy replacement beams for it. For most of these air tents and shelters, a replacement beam should you get a rip that's irreparable. So let's pump it up and see what it looks like. You need to find the corner of the four corners where the inflation valve is. I'll show you the valve afterwards, but it is in one of these corners that you can see here. Now inside there's a spring released valve. One's open, so you connect it when it's open, pump it up with a stirrup pump, and then release it. It just collapses on you. It just lets all the air back out. So you need to make sure that the spring is sprung out. Connect the pump and start pumping. Just leave it there in the middle of the green section. Why isn't the thing stand up right? After getting the legs spaced out at the bottom. I think I made rather a meal of that. Anyway, I'll just get some pegs. Forgotten the pegs. Okay, that's the air shelter up now with all four sides up. Pegged all the corners down, and that now lends itself to be a very nice shade in what is today a roasting day. It is glorious today. I don't think I've ever been camping in such good weather. As you can tell, I'm not camping, I'm at home. So my friendly neighbours, the birds, are tweeting in the trees. Anyway, I've got one of these connectors that I was going to show you. So basically, the bottom part of the tarp would go into here and you clamp it on. And at the base, there you can stick a peg through the hole into the ground. Therefore, it'll stop the areas where the wind gets in underneath from lifting up the door panels. And you could do that around the three sides that you don't want to open. You maybe just want to look out at the front over a view, whichever direction you want to be in. So I bought I don't know, a dozen or two of those. You can get them in different sizes. I know people use them on awnings and tarps, on motorhomes and camp vans, etc. So they're quite useful. I actually use those, of course, because there's no eyelets in the bottom of the doors. So I thought I'd show you those while we're here. So let's take a closer look at the Berghaus Air Shelter. In the inside here, I've shown you this on a previous video, but that's the hook in the centre where the cross beams are that you can hang a lantern from. The last time, I'll put the clip in actually to show you how windy it was. The lantern was bouncing around like one of those boxers' balls that they train with. So I'll sneak that in, that little clip I've got of it from the last time we were out.
Stop doing it now and filming it. Oh, there we go. Oh, goodness me. Needs a bell, doesn't it? Ding, ding, ding,
Like a ship's brass bell.
yeah.
There's a window in the top on both sides. The 4 doors, of course, 2 with mesh and 2 with windows. And the interesting bit down here is that's the valve that you connect to. That's the valve cover that's here that you can put in after you've pumped it up. But all it takes to deflate it is to push that pin in. You push that in, it opens up, it stays open, it's sort of push to open, push the spring closed. So you push that up, it'll just collapse. You can then actually, I've found that if you're patient enough and lean on it enough, if it's not soaking wet like it always is when I go, you can actually sort of get on top of it and squeeze the air out, and enough sufficiently to get it in the bag. As always, anybody that's been camping with tents or anything that's made for the outdoors, the bags are never quite big enough when you want to put it back. So another tip for any manufacturers, make oversized bags so that us mere mortals can get them back in when we finish camping. Of course, if it's saturated, soaking wet, you don't want to be lying on top of it trying to squeeze all the air out. However, on the pump, there is you can reverse the pump, stick it in there, reverse it, and suck the air out. It's on a deflate mode. Okay. If we go outside, yeah, there's an arch zip there, and that's so when it's all fastened up. If it's all fastened up and packed away, you can open that up to get to the valve on the inside through there. That's quite useful. I don't really think there's a great deal more I can say about it, except that I like it. It has saved us getting soaked many a time camping the last year since I bought it, or when we could go throughout lockdown, or when they allowed us out. It is, with a bit of practice, and I'm still not very good at it, as you've seen earlier in the video, it is achievable to put it up on your own, whereas I know that some of these other ones with poles in, a colleague of mine has got with poles in, and it took 3 of us to put it up. It's very, very tight with the poles. It's like on the roof, it's like hitting a drum when it's done. It worked well, but you wouldn't want to put it up on your own. It would have been very difficult indeed to put it up on your own. Anyway, that's the Berghaus Air Shelter. This is the one I bought myself. If you get one, enjoy. If you're outdoors, also enjoy. See you again soon.